Good morning, guys. So in the last lecture we were studying about Prandtl's method, Prandtl stress function method, and problems regarding the Prandtl stress function. I mean the torsion of elliptical and circular cross-sectional bars using Prandtl's as well as Sandman's method. Right now we are going to deal with another topic of torsion of thin walled closed sections. Okay, our topic is torsion of thin walled. Thin wall means it is assumed to be very thin. Okay, as that of like a soap film. Its cross section is very thin, right? Okay, such thin walled closed sections, what will be the torsion of that is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so the behavior of thin walled sections is different from that of solid sections. Okay, so thin walled sections, they have mainly thin walled means they will be hollow, right? It is different from closed sections. A shaft can be considered as thin when wall thickness is less than 1/20th of its radius. Okay, so when the thickness is 1/20th of the whole, if this is the radius, see, if this is the total radius of this shaft, then the thickness should be 1/20 of this radius. Okay, so thickness should be very small. Okay, the properties varies in case of thin wall closed section as well as open section. See, if you consider a hollow shaft which is very thin and a hollow shaft which is open at this section, okay, you can see that if you analyze shear flow, so the shear stresses will flow like this in an closed section, whereas in an open section this will have shear stress will vary like this, or it will flow like this. Okay, that is in the case of open sections. That means this shear flow we'll be discussing later. Anyway, if you analyze a figure which is having which is very thin, which is closed, and one which is opened, if you apply a torque, if you twist this, what happens? The closed section will, say, more torque can be applied on this closed section, whereas that much torque cannot be applied if provided this is having same area, same material, etc. Okay, fine. That you can just if you think about this concept, or think about the concept that I was telling, for a closed section, if you are twisting it, you can have more torque here than here. Okay, that is what is discussed here. In a closed section, a one cell shear flow circuit, this one cell and two cell, that we'll be discussing on our upcoming problems. Okay, one cell shear flow circuit is established, whereas the same cannot be established in case of an open section. If we compare two shafts of one open and one closed of same material and same cross section, a closed section resists much higher torque than open section. Okay, see, for both the cases there will be some deformation, and that will be small. In case of closed, deformation will be very little when compared to this open section. Okay, now here you consider a thin film or a thin closed sections. This is a closed section, and see here you have, this is not symmetrical. Okay, see here you can see that there are varying thickness here. If this is T, this can be T1, T2, it can be varied, it depends. Okay, and if you take out a small element from here and you're projecting it here. Okay, now the total length of this shaft is L, and now you can analyze a small element from here, that is A, B, C, D. You are going to analyze from here. Okay, and this length is delta L. This length is delta L, and see here you have varying thickness. At this length the thickness is T2, whereas here when it comes like this, here this is only T1. So here there is more thickness, here it can be more or less. Okay, from here to here the thickness is varying, that's all. Okay, and you can see that there will be a force acting in this direction, and we are assuming this. Okay, so F1 will be acting in, say, Z direction. So when considering on equilibrium condition, there will be another force F2. Okay, say this is shear force. Okay, so shear force will be acting like this. Similarly, shear stress will be acting like this. Tau 1 and tau 2 is acting like this. Okay, now we'll see what we are going to analyze here. Consider a thin wall tube subjected to torque T. If this element is going under torque, that is, we are twisting this material, then these two faces will experience forces, shear forces, right? In turn, shear stresses. Okay, the tube is assumed to be of constant area, but thickness may vary within cross section, which is very important. Thickness is varying. Now we are introducing a new term called shear flow. So we'll consider forces acting on faces AB and DC, that is AB and DC. F1 is equal to F2 because the object is in equilibrium. That means this F1 will be equal to F2. Okay, x direction forces will be equal. F1 minus F2 is equal to 0 for equilibrium. Now the force is nothing but shear stress into area. Shear stress is tau 1 here. See, for F1 it's tau 1, and area is delta L into thickness. Thickness here is T1, right? So delta L into T1 is equal to F2. See, F2 is this phase, so the shear stress on that phase is tau 2, and the length is delta L itself, thickness is theta 2. Okay, I think you got this equation. From that, delta L cancels, and you will get tau 1 T1 is equal to tau 2 T2, which is a constant. So if you analyze this, it seems to be a similar equation, or a similar equation you can remember from fluid mechanics. A1 B1 is equal to A2 V2, continuity equation. For incompressible fluid flow, A1 B1 is equal to A2 V2 is nothing but fluid flow. That constant is called fluid flow. So similarly here, this tau 1 T1 is equal to tau 2 T2 is nothing but it's called as shear flow. Okay, this product of shear stress and thickness of tube is same at every point in cross section. Product of shear stress and thickness is called shear flow and is denoted by Q. That means Q is equal to tau 1 T1 is equal to tau 2 T2. That means generally Q is equal to tau into T, shear stress into thickness. I have told here it is similar to the continuity equation. Here it's fluid flow, here this is called as shear flow. Okay, so shear flow is constant throughout the tube. So considering here, total shear flow will be constant. That is what this is telling, tau 1 T1. Here the shear stress as well as thickness is varying, but its when you compare both by multiplying, that will be a constant, and that constant value will be called as shear flow. Okay, now next we'll consider this same element I'm drawing here, and this is a side view. So I'm considering a small element ds here. Okay, and this is the center of this center of gravity of this section. Then if I draw a perpendicular from this point to this point, okay, that distance is called as h. Okay, this is perpendicular distance. OQ is perpendicular to PQ. Okay, PQ length is ds. Okay, now the thickness is given as t. Say this is at this point, I mean for from here to here there is only a small element, right? So let us consider up to this distance the thickness is t. We will consider like that. Okay, so since this is small, so t is variation in thickness, there is no variation considered since it's a small segment. Tau is the shear stress at element ds. So I am considering here you have shear stress tau, and h is the perpendicular distance to element ds. Then the force occurring in this will be shear stress into area. That is, tau is shear stress into area is this small element is considered as a rectangular element, that is thickness into length, right? ds into t or delta s into t, both are same. Okay, now torque is nothing but this force into perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance is h. So tau t delta s into h. Okay, so tau t is nothing but q, delta s h. Okay, this is delta t, and this torque is limited to this region. Now if you integrate it, you will get the whole torque. Before that, the area of triangle POQ, see this triangle POQ is nothing but half into ds into h. Okay, so that small area is given as dA is equal to half into ds into h is equal to, say this both are same. Okay, so delta sh is nothing but 2 into dA. Delta sh is equal to 2 into dA. Substitute here. Okay, so delta t becomes 2q, 2 into q into delta sh dA. Okay, so 2q delta a. So if you integrate that thing, the total torque will be, this is 2q delta a is integrated, so 2q into a is the torque for a closed section. Okay, now if you want to find the deformation, that means we'll find it by using strain energy. Strain energy is nothing but 1/2 force into deformation. Okay, so delta is 1/2 into force we have already placed here, tau t delta s into delta. Delta is nothing but change in length or deformation. So here we have again some concepts to be clear. This is shear strain is given by change in length by origin length. Origin length here is, that we considered here is delta L. From that you have a small deformation of delta. So, and also shear strain is nothing but shear stress by rigidity modulus. Okay, so from these two equations, delta is nothing but shear stress by rigidity modulus into delta L. Okay, now you substitute the value of delta in this equation. You will get 1/2 tau t delta s into tau by g into delta L. Tau t is nothing but q. I want a square of q, that means you will get 1/2 q square by t, because here you only have t, tau. So to make it q, you divide it by t. So q square by t delta s by g into delta L. Okay, so this is change in or small strain energy. Now if you need strain energy in terms of torque, what will you do? T is 2q into A and Q is T by 2A, right? So delta U, in that equation you put this value for T. Okay, then you will get, you expand it, delta U will be T square by 8A square, delta S delta L by Tg. Okay, if you want the entire section strain energy, you integrate it, and here T square delta L by 8A square G surface integral ds by T. Okay, so this surface integral is very important, and ds is nothing but small distance, right? See, small distance by thickness. Actually this ds by T is nothing but the total perimeter. If this is a structure, then what will be its perimeter? The total things. Here you have ds plus ds plus ds plus ds by the thickness at each section. Okay, that you will get clear while doing problems. Okay, so just understand this concept. Angle of twist per unit length will be, and also if you need to find the angle of twist per unit length from Castigliano's theorem, first theorem, you know delta is equal to dou u by dou p. Similarly, at that point itself I have explained you theta is equal to dou u by dou t. Okay, here theta is angle of twist per unit length. Okay, so theta is equal to dou by dou t of, you are integrating this equation with respect to t. So it becomes 2t and 8t, it becomes 4, right? So it becomes theta is equal to t by 4 a square g surface integral of ds by dt. So these equations for angle of twist, strain energy, and torque equation, as well as this thing, shear flow, these things you have to see. Okay, and this derivation is also important. Okay, thank you. We will do problems regarding this in the next class.